In this video, I'm talking about content ideas for Instagram that help you build the know, like, and trust factor so that people can feel confident buying from you. All things being equal, people prefer to do business with someone they know, like, and trust. And if you're selling online, this is even more true because if you're selling in person, people can look you in the eye, they can shake your hand, they can listen to your voice, they can form an opinion about whether or not you are a trustworthy person. Online, they can't shake your hand. They can only virtually look you in the eye if you're doing something like going on camera or doing a video like this one, but they can't actually see you face to face. So you need to work harder to establish the know, like, and trust than you do in person. One way to do that is by getting personal. Now, this is the biggest mistake I see entrepreneurs making with their social media. Now, I'm not saying you have to share all your deepest, darkest secrets. There is a line between personal and private. And the best example of the difference I heard in an interview with Alan Alda. So a number of years ago, Alan Alda was being interviewed on a CBC television show in Canada called The Hour with George Stroumboulopoulos. And Alan Alda was talking about a book that he'd written about growing up in a family where there was mental illness. And the interviewer, George, said to Alan Alda, "Wow, this was a really personal book." And Alan Alda said, "Well, yes, of course it was, because if it wasn't personal, it would be dull. It would be like a textbook." He said, "So I had to get personal to tell the story." And then he said the important bit. He said, "There are parts of the story I didn't tell because they weren't my story to tell. They were private." And that's the difference when you're posting on social media is you have to decide for yourself what's the difference between personal and private. So you can get personal. You can share things about yourself that lets people get to know the person behind the business without sharing private details. So an online example, we're just coming out of winter as I record this video. And one time I posted something about how my office overlooks our driveway and the snowplow went by and dumped 3 feet of snow on the bottom of my driveway. And I was kind of moaning about the fact that I was going to have to go out and shovel the driveway. And an amazing thing happened is everybody else who follows me, who happens to live in a part of the world where they were getting snow, they could relate to that because they probably just experienced the same things themselves. And I got tons of engagement on that post and replies and started conversations with people who had never commented on any of my posts before because they could relate to what I said. Another example about sharing personal and the difference between personal and private is talking about your family. I'm a mother. I naturally talk about my son. And this picture here is one that I share often in workshops when I talk about personal versus private. And I know you're probably looking at me going, "Andrea, what the heck is this?" Well, that is my son's hand. And he happens to be holding an insect called a thorny devil that we took when we were at the bug zoo in Victoria a number of years ago when he was much littler than he is now. I share that picture of him because my line in the sand is I don't share pictures of my son on social media. I don't mention his name. I don't mention his age. Even today, even though he's a grown-ass man and taller than me, I don't because, well, first of all, he told me I'd have to give him a royalty if I used his name or his image. But mostly it's because in this day and age, I don't feel comfortable sharing personal information about my son. I don't feel like that's safe. That's my line in the sand. So I talk about my son. I share a picture of his hand holding the thorny devil, but I don't share pictures of him. Other marketers, other online businesses do post pictures of their children. They'll show pictures of their birthdays. They talk about their names, their ages. That's their line in the stand. They feel comfortable with that. I do not. So you need to make that decision for yourself. Other things that you can share that are personal but not private could be your community. You can show your neighborhood, show places that you love. For example, I live in Owen Sound, Ontario. We happen to be on the shores of Georgian Bay. Even though I'm in a city, there's lots of nature. So I often share photos of when I'm out hiking, get my husband or a friend to take pictures of me when we're out and about. So what I recommend as your action step going forward is pick 3 to 5 topics that are personal to you, but not private, that you're happy to share on social media. So that can be, for me, it's my love of baseball and the Toronto Blue Jays. It's talking about my family. And I also share nature and me out and about in nature. So think about what are the things that you will share and where's that line between sharing too much so that it's private and where you're comfortable with having the whole world see it, and let them get a chance to know the person behind the business. If you want to know more about how to let people virtually look you in the eye by getting on camera, get a copy of my low-cost online video toolkit. The link is in the description, and it will allow you to start with equipment you already have, your smartphone, and add a few strategic low-cost items to really level up your video marketing game. I'm Andrea Stenberg. Give me a thumbs up and thanks for watching.